Hello, David Frederick Riley here. This is video number 6 in Living the Life of Riley with your artwork. Just doing a follow up to the previous video about galleries. This is a basic question, but one that you really have to flesh out. If you're going to start looking at galleries, you're saying, I want to be a professional artist. What does that mean? First, you have to decide that you actually want to do this for a living. If you're going to do artwork for a living, you have to be creating a win-win scenario. That means you win because you like painting what you paint, and the customer wins because they want your art on their walls. If they do not want your art on their walls, it's not a win-win. If you can't find people to buy your paintings, you don't get to make money. Then maybe just do it as a hobby. That's an easy way. If art is your hobby, you get to paint anything you want, and it doesn't matter if anyone likes it or not. However, if you're going to do it for a business, people have to want to buy it. They have to want to trade you money for it. So you do have to consider that's something you're going to have to think about. Now, the only real way to know if what you're doing is something people want on their walls is to put it out there and see if anyone's interested in it. So you've got to do a little bit of market research on what you're putting out there. Also, you need to get really good at taking a third person perspective of your work. Get really good at seeing your work how other people see it. Not how you, as the creator, as the parent of the baby of this artwork that you love and cherish, you got to let all that go. You got to look at it like it wasn't yours. Take the alien perspective and assess it. Where can you grow and get better? Is it good enough to put in a gallery and ask someone to pay thousands of dollars for it? If it's not yet, keep working on it until it is. As far as deciding, okay, I'm going to get in the galleries. Now what? How much money am I going to make? How many galleries do I get to have? And how much artwork do I need to create? There's some formulas I've come up with to kind of guide myself through that. Step number 1, how much artwork can you produce in a year? Be honest about that. Don't take your best week and say, I'll do that every week, because life is going to happen and get in the way. Try to consider, I don't get to paint that week because between Christmas and New Year's, I'm gone. So you have to look at the whole calendar, say, this is how many paintings I think I can do in a year. Then you take that number, let's say it's 1 a week on average. Some weeks 2, some weeks 0, but you look at it all, you get 50 paintings a year. I plan on at least 25 paintings per gallery. So you're looking at 2 galleries. My next thought is, where are those galleries going to be? I don't want my galleries to compete for what they sell when they sell. And so a split that some people look at is, maybe I'm going to have half my work in Jackson because Jackson sells amazingly in the summer, not as much as the winter. And want to offset that with Scottsdale, which is a great winter season gallery because they make their sales in the winter, not in the summer when it's 115 degrees there. Pick 2 areas that sell at different times. This gives you a little bit more spread out income and not all at once and then nothing for part of the year. If you can make 50 paintings a year, let's say you're going to sell those paintings for $5,000 is the retail price. You have to consider gallery is going to take half of that. And you're not going to sell every single painting. Let's say you can make 50 paintings a year, sell them for $5,000 per painting, but you're only going to say, let's say you're going to sell 80% of them. So you're going to sell 40 pieces. You're getting $2,500 per piece. That's $100,000 a year right there. So that's how you're going to make your 6-figure income with your art. But you don't get that 100,000. You got to think, what did it cost me to make the paintings? Maybe it's 20%. So you minus out $20,000. Now you're left with 80. And you think, okay, good, $80,000, doing well. But then the government's going to come for you, and they're going to want 35% of that 80,000, which is maybe 24,000 that you're going to owe the government. I hope you put that money aside ahead of time, so that when March 15th comes, you can pay it off. But you're going to be left with about $56,000 out of that original $100,000 that you might receive in income spread out over the year for the 40 out of 50 paintings that you sold. If you're selling 40 out of 50 paintings, you're doing pretty good. That's a decent chunk. The next thing you should consider is logistics. How are you going to get the artwork where it needs to go when it needs to be there? If you don't have a big van and you're painting big paintings, get a big van or look into U-Haul. A lot of times you can move artwork pretty cheaply. Have you ordered your frames ahead of time? I have a log in a notebook that shows me my next 20 paintings, when they need to be done and where they need to go. Have I ordered the box yet? If I'm going to ship them, have I ordered the frame yet? Do I have the canvas? These are all things to consider, and you really have to run a tight ship and run it like a business if you want to get paid like you have a business. Just things to consider as you're getting serious about doing this full time. You can't think through this stuff too much. You really want to be on top of it. Know what do you need to paint for what market at what time of the year, and how are you going to get it there? When do you need to paint it to have it there on time? So you really got to backtrack out. The only way I manage this is with an old school paper weekly, monthly planner where I can see a month at a time and flip through, and I've got my year planned out by January, if not by November. So things to consider. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. And thanks so much. Talk to you tomorrow.